Divine Providence, God's Providence, Hashgacha Pratit, extends to everything, extends to everyone individually. And God is the essence of good, of goodness. And God does only good. As the Torah states, Vayaret Hashem, God saw all that he had done, and behold, it was good. Tov me'od. God gave us b'chira chofshit, the freedom to choose in life. V'charta b'chayim, to choose life, to choose the positive, and daily conduct, how we're going to behave. And in his goodness, b'tuvo, he's given us the Torah, which teaches us what the right way, how to choose the right way in life, what is the right way in life, and how to live it. So this person in this letter wrote to the Rebbe that life to him is a heavy burden, is a burden. So he said, I understand, because of certain things that this person has gone through, that you feel this way. But if you realize that everything is hashgacha pratit, everything that's happened to you, to your business, to your life, everything is by divine providence, then obviously you won't think that way. You won't think, because God is in charge. We only have the freedom of choice to choose between right and wrong. But everything is by divine providence. Now, we have a limited intellect, so we don't understand. We don't understand why certain things have happened and happen. And it's impossible for our human mind to understand the wisdom of the Ein Sof, of Hashem, of God. So, the emphasis is, since God provided, has given you, has granted you, has bequeathed you with life, the gift of life, every morning when we wake anew, and other blessings, and also gives you the wherewithal and the opportunity to fulfill his ratzon, his will, not because he needs that pleasure, that satisfaction of having his will fulfilled, but because this is how he makes it possible for a Jew to spread God's light in the world at large. The reason God gives us the opportunity every day to live in this world and to continue to do the things we're doing is to spread God's light in the world at large, in our family, in our environment where we work. So to say that we have all these blessings and these opportunities to bring the light of the Torah, of Hashem, of God, to our surroundings, to our family, to our environment. Since we have these blessings, that's not a burden. That's not a heavy burden, an ol, a yoke. I'm using the word yoke, it's not stated here. It's also not right to think of it as a burden, the fact that it's difficult to see the good. Because the reward is according to the efforts. In other words, something's more difficult to get, to obtain, to achieve, means that it's more worthy. It's bigger. So when you have an nisayon, the difficulties, the fact that the difficulty is so great means the reward is even greater. And then the Rebbe suggested that the mezuzahs of the home should be checked, as well as the tefillin. They've not been checked in the past 12 months. And putting tzedakah, a small coin for tzedakah every morning before davening. And he also mentioned putting a small coin in tzedakah before lighting the candles to the wife in the house. So I'm hopeful this will inspire you to realize the blessings, the opportunities you have. And when you see there's a challenge, a great challenge in accomplishing certain things, especially in accomplishing spiritual undertakings, that's because there's a great blessing there, and that's a great achievement. Greater the difficulties, the greater the opportunities, and the greater the rewards of what you'll achieve there. And sometimes in life, we've learned this in Chassidut, that after Tishrei and during Tishrei, the inclination can get a person, and the person will think, why do I have this great inclination to do certain things? The greater the inclination, the greater the person. I have to say it correctly. But the point is, the greater you are, the greater you can become, the greater your inclination will try to bring you down. And every time you say no to the Yetzer Hara, as I've stated previously, every time you say no to the Yetzer Hara, and I'll quote to you a beautiful verse, it's not a verse, but it's stated in the Zohar. It's quoted in chapter 27 of Tanya, Kad et kafia, when a person puts down, in other words, his kofeh, he says no to his Yetzer Hara, sitracha, to the other side, and he says no to him, the splendor of God, so to speak, permeates, goes up in all the metaphysical worlds. In other words, God derives such great pleasure when a Jew says no to his Yetzer Hara, and he says no to transgressing a negative mitzvah. That's something so precious to God. And the source of the mitzvahs, Lotase, the negative mitzvahs, is at a higher level than the positive mitzvahs. And that's why when someone goes through challenges, especially with inclination, and he says no to the inclination, he achieves a very, very high state of being spiritually. Thank you.